Did you know the average lifespan of an empire is 250 years? There are empires that survive much longer, like the Roman Empire, and there are empires that survive much less, like my empire in Icarium. What all empires have in common is that they fall. In today's video, we will talk about the rise of huge empires that influenced and changed the world and the fall of those empires. Today, it is commonly believed that there were between 70 different empires throughout history. Before we start, what is an empire anyway? An empire is a large political entity where a central authority rules over diverse territories and peoples, often acquired through conquest or colonization. Isn't it the same? Maintaining control through centralized governance and a powerful leader or ruling class. To simplify matters further, here are some basic traits that all empires have in common. Large territory. Empires control vast lands, often spanning different regions and cultures. Centralized authority. Empires have a strong central government led by a powerful ruler or ruling class. Diverse population. Empires govern diverse peoples with different languages, religions, and customs. A mad emperor who decides to declare himself God and enslave the citizens of the empire, while apparently sleeping with his pleasure boy or his sister. So shall we begin? The first empires that began to emerge did so in the Fertile Crescent region, today's Iraq region, and Egypt. After all, the dawn of human civilization always revolved around rivers. One of the largest empires in those days was the Assyrian Empire. The Assyrian Empire rose around the 25th century BCE, becoming a dominant force in Mesopotamia. Known for their powerful military and advanced administration, they expanded under leaders like Tiglath-Pileser III, sounds like a Star Wars character, and Ashurbanipal. The Assyrian Empire conquered kingdoms like Babylon, Elam, kingdom full of Elmo, located in what is now Iran, and Egypt. The Assyrians innovated with advanced military tactics, including iron weaponry and siege warfare, and developed a sophisticated administrative system for efficient governance. They also established one of the first libraries at Nineveh, preserving a vast collection of texts, thus contributing significantly to the preservation of knowledge and culture. But every empire has an end, and it usually comes from the boredom of the people, which leads to internal disputes, forming two parties and resulting in civil war. The Assyrian Empire fell due to internal strife and overextension. In 612 BCE, a coalition of Babylonians, Medes, and Scythians sacked Nineveh. By 609 BCE, these forces had fully conquered Assyria, marking the end of its dominance in Mesopotamia. The Assyrian Empire lasted 16 years. Before we continue to the next story, you are welcome to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Rumor has it that whoever presses the bell will be blessed with happiness and joy. When was the last time you were happy? The Achaemenid Empire, also known as the First Persian Empire, founded by Cyrus the Great around 550 BCE, unified Persian tribes and conquered the Median Empire. Cyrus expanded by conquering Lydia and Babylon, creating a vast realm from the Indus Valley to the Aegean Sea. Under Darius I, the empire thrived with efficient administration, road construction, and a standardized currency, fostering trade and stability across its territories, shaping Western culture and history as we know it today. Cyrus the Great is also known for being the one who returned the Jewish people to the land of Israel and helped them build the Second Temple, a step that gave him the status of Messiah among the Jews, and also indirectly led to the creation of Christianity, the largest and most influential religion in history. Over time, the Persian Empire became the most powerful in the world. However, tensions escalated when it clashed with the Greeks, who had established themselves across the Middle East, including present-day Turkey and Cyprus, historically a source of conflict between Greeks and Turks, evident in the legend of Troy. Greek society was structured around city-states, or polises, led by major cities like Sparta and Athens.
Wait a minute!
Despite initial odds, the Greeks united against Persian expansion into Turkey, famously defeating them in pivotal battles, such as the legendary stand of the 300 muscular Spartans smeared with oil, securing the safety of the Hellenistic world. For decades, there was peace between the Greeks and the Persians, but then a certain Macedonian rose to prominence. His name echoes to this day in history books, a symbol of conquest and unity, the father of Western culture, and this man was called Philip II, king of Macedon, who under his rule united the Greek cities. United meaning conquered. Philip also had a son named Alexander. Alexander was the son of Philip's fourth wife, And Alexander is also known for being the greatest conqueror in human history and the one who established the Hellenistic culture, actually the Western culture of today, as the strongest force in the world. But before we drool over Alexander, this is a story of the Persian Empire. So why did we refer to Alexander? Well, the Achaemenid Empire fell to Alexander the Great in 330 BCE after his conquests through Asia Minor and into Persia. Darius III's defeat at the Battle of Gaugamela.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Marked the empire's collapse, leading to Alexander's control over Persia and the subsequent spread of Hellenistic influence in the region. The Persian Empire existed for only about 220 years, but constituted for the first time in human history an international factor, a real power in the ancient world. The next empire needs no introduction. It is the Roman Empire, an empire so strong and significant that at the time there was peace, also called Pax Romana or the Roman peace, because no nation was strong enough to challenge the Romans. You can make thousands of videos about them, from their pantheon of crazy and disturbed emperors to being the propagators of the world's largest monotheistic religion. For all their conquests, their technological innovations, the fact that after their fall, Europe entered a Great Depression called the Middle Ages. The Romans were the largest and most influential civilization in the ancient world, and some have also said, in relation to today's world, and this whole story started with two babies who were nursed by a wolf. It is customary to divide the history of Rome into its period as a democratic republic. Relative to the time, this period dates from 502 BC to 27 BC. After that, a nice guy named Julius decided to cross the Rubicon River with his army and establish his position as the sole ruler of Rome. But Julius Caesar didn't get to be emperor because the haters in the Senate assassinated him. But his adopted son Augustus decided to do the funniest prank in history and continue with his father's lust, essentially crowning himself emperor. The Roman Empire dates back to 27 years BC to the year 395. During the 422 years of its existence, it knew a lot of crazy emperors, a lot of inventions and developments that changed the world, and especially a lot of wars and conquests. At their peak, the Romans spread over almost all of Europe and all of North Africa, establishing their status as the greatest and essentially the only power of the Mediterranean. 395 AD, the Roman Empire split into the Western and Eastern Roman Empires due to administrative and political reasons. These problems stemmed mainly from the boredom of the citizens who decided to confront each other and the corruption of the politicians. This division weakened central authority and strained resources, making it harder to defend against external threats like barbarian invasions. Over time, these factors contributed to the gradual decline and eventual fall of the Western Roman Empire by 476 AD. Our next empire is known for its museums, which contain the history of almost every nation around the world. It is an empire that at its peak was the largest in history in terms of territory, an empire whose effects on the world we still see today. Proof of this is the language of the video, and it is no different than the British Empire. If there is one thing that unites most peoples of the world, it is that the British have played the role of the villain in its history. The British Empire was founded in 1707 with the Act of Union that united England and Scotland, and from there, the empire established its status as the strongest international trading and maritime power in the world. They had colonies in America, Australia, India, Africa, and almost every hole in the world. In 1997, the British Empire de facto fell definitively with the return of Hong Kong to China. But today, it owns 14 overseas territories, and therefore, some still consider it an empire. 489 years the empire survived. Not a bad amount of time, considering the fact that it was in conflict or war with almost every nation that exists in the world. We will finish with the power that is considered the empire of today. The United States declared independence from the British, how not, in 1776. And over the years, established itself as the largest economic and military power in the world, the one that dictates the world order and the one that the modern world revolves around. As of the date of the video, this empire is 248 years old, and during the last few years, it has suffered from the greatest social division in its history, with the exception of the Civil War, of course. It seems that there are external forces that challenge the United States and are trying to overthrow it from within, and for us, it remains only to see if the United States can reach for the 250th birthday. In today's video, we only touched on the tip of the iceberg of the largest and most influential empires in the world. If there is one thing that is certain in the human world, it is that the future of empires is to fall. But the future of empires is also to rise, and we just have to wait and see who the new empire will be.